Om. 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 Sairam everyone, just to recap what we discussed last week. We are all in the grip of Maya and we were trying to figure out how to overcome. I think there were various aspects of Maya which we discussed. How does the individual Maya, the Mahamaya, and so on. And how the interdependence of the Mayas. And Swami had said that the Maya will never vanish. It's so I think there were some concerns. The Mahamaya, but the Maya actually comes into be what was there from the beginning can leave. I think those are some of the concepts which Swami spoke about. So I will ask the sisters to read and then we'll continue from where we left off. Saira.
Saira. Arjuna, you might ask me whether this Maya, which pervades and injures the very place where it originates, has not tarnished me, in whom it has taken birth. It is natural that such a doubt should arise, but that is a baseless doubt. Maya is the cause of all this Jagat creation, but it is not the cause of God. I am the authority that wields Maya. This Jagat, which is the product of Maya, moves and behaves according to my will. So whoever is attached to me and acts according to my will cannot be harmed by Maya. Maya acknowledges their authority also. To overcome Maya, the only method is to acquire the jnana, wisdom of the universal, and to rediscover your own universal nature. For you attribute the limit of life on that which is eternal, and it is this which causes Maya. Hunger and thirst are the characteristics of life. Joy and grief, impulse and imagination, birth and death are all characteristics of the body. They are all anatma or anatmic. They are not the characteristics of the universal, the Atma.
Sairam, everyone, I think we discussed quite a bit, few of the concepts here. I will open it up for the members to share any thoughts they have.
Sairamandi, I just have one doubt with regard to that line which says Maya acknowledges their authority also. Auntie, can you, if you don't mind, can you please read that in Telugu, Auntie?
Sure. Okay. Maya acknowledges.
I am the authority that wields Maya, and then he says the Jagat is a product of Maya, and then also say.
1 minute. Let me say. Now you might ask whether where does it come in the Telugu?
It is in the middle of this paragraph, kind of.
Yeah, 1 minute. Arjuna, you might ask me whether this Maya which perverts in this very place which has not tarnished me. The Atma Dharmamulu, that is. Maya acknowledges their authority also.
So here, I'm sorry if I don't mind. If
Okay, please go ahead, Narmada. Sai Satish, I'll read that paragraph itself, okay?
Yes, auntie. Thanks.
జీవ భ్రాంతి కలవారు దీనికి వశులగుదురు. That's they are affected by Maya. తత్వ దృష్టి కలవారు దీనికి అతీతులగుదురు. అట్టి వారిని అది ఆవరించలేదు. తత్వ వస్తువులను గోచరించినట్లు చేయును, కానీ తత్వ జ్ఞానులను చేరలేదు. బాబా ఎక్కడ పుట్టినదో ఎవరిలో పుట్టినదో వారినే ఆవరించునని మాయను గురించి చెప్పిన విషయమును పురస్కరించుకొని నీలోనే పుట్టిన మాయ నిన్ను మాత్రం ఆవరించలేదా అని నీవు అనవచ్చును. సంశయమును కలుగవచ్చును, అది పసుగదు. మాయ సర్వజగత్తుకు ఉపాదాన కారణము, సర్వేశ్వరునికి కారణము కాదు. నేను మాయాధికారిని, మాయా ఆవరణము జగత్తు. మాయ నన్ను ఆశ్రయించి నా ఆజ్ఞలో నిలిచియుండును. నన్ను ఆశ్రయించిన నా ఆజ్ఞలో ఎవరుందరో వారికి కూడాను మాయ దాసురాలై దోసిలొగ్గును. To where exactly you were asking about?
Yes, auntie. That I think you just read that. You just read that line. Yeah, where it. Yeah. Yes, auntie.
Their authority.
Yeah, but it's beautiful, auntie. I think what I'm saying is the distinction between the Maya that engulfs God and the Maya that engulfs us is, though Maya is born out of God, it doesn't engulf him, it doesn't cover him. But in our case, the Maya, which comes out of our mind, engulfs us. So I think there's a clear distinction between how we are caught in the Maya, but how God is completely beyond Maya.
Yeah.
That distinction is.
Yeah, go ahead. The distinction.
Yes, Andy, I'm complete. Thanks, Andy.
You know, Arjuna is might ask this question. Krishna is just imagining that Arjuna, you might ask this question because Maya is born out of me. How can it's not affecting you? You may ask. That's what he said. Nilone puttina Maya ninnu matram avarinchaleda ani neevu anavachunu. You may say that. Samshayamunu kalguchunu. There may be doubt. Adi pasagadu. It's not. Maya sarva jagattuku upadana karanam. Sarveshwariki karanam kaadu. It's only meant for the word. The Maya sarva jagattuku karanam. Yeah.
Sorry, I just want to kind of clarify. So here it says, like, the Jagat is the product of Maya, moves and behaves according to my will. So Swami is saying it, Jagat moves and behaves, although it's a product of the Maya, it moves and behaves according to my will. And Swami then says, so whoever is attached to me and acts according to my will cannot be harmed by Maya. So if you are attached to Swami, the Maya cannot engulf us or cause anything to us. So, and then he goes on to say this, the sentence that Sai Satish was asking is that Maya acknowledges their authority. So Maya acknowledges God's authority, and if we are attached to God, then Maya also acknowledges our authority.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you. And I think it's like that, the dog and the master. So the dog is the Maya and master of the house is the Lord. So Swami has given, last time also, earlier we had discussed how if we have to reach out to the master, we have to call like, oh Rama, oh Krishna, then the master comes and he keeps the dog aside and takes the devotee inside. So that way, I think in this part where whoever is under the refuge of the Lord, then Maya, because of the Lord's presence, it doesn't affect, it doesn't bite, or it doesn't do anything to that devotee, while others are caught under the fear of the dog. So that way, that analogy
Yeah.
answers this also. Yeah. Thank you.
Sairam, I have a question here. Maybe it could be a little clarification too. Why Swami said hunger and thirst are the characteristics of life, joy and grief, impulse and imaginations, birth and death are all characteristics of the body. Um, what are the differences between the characteristics of life and the characteristics of the body? I thought both hunger and thirst are also characteristics of the body.
Yeah.
Because when I look at maybe in my understanding or in my interpretations, it's kind of hunger and thirst. It will be passed on to the next life too, kind of, because it says characteristics of life. Life, it consists of not only the body, mind, atma, and everything. So the hunger and thirst are different from the other, the pairs, joy and grief, impulse and imaginations, birth and death. So if we have a little clarification, that would be very useful. Thank you,
Yeah.
Saira.
Anandi, sister,
Yeah.
here Swami is trying to tell us, these characteristics of the body. There are three types of characteristics. One is Sukha Dukkha is of mind. The mind experiences all this Sukha Dukkha. Janana Marana, the birth and death is Deha Dharma, the body, the characteristics of the body. Akali Dappulu, that means hunger and thirst, or the third type, it is a Prana Dharma. So there are three dharmas. One is Mano Dharma, the second one is Deha Dharma, and the third one is Prana Dharma. So these three are anatmic. They're all characteristics of the body, not of. So what we do, we superimpose all these characteristics on the Atma, which is present in us. Anatma is superimposed on Atma. So we have this confusion that is the Maya. They're not the characteristics of the universal Atma, but it is the characteristics of our own body. I think, have I made it clear to you?
Now I am much more clearer than previously. But where Auntie it says the Mano Dharma and the Tirga Dharma and those things, but that is your from your knowledge you brought in, or it's part of that. Those points are here in this paragraph.
Yeah, in the Telugu version, Swami is saying this.
Oh, okay.
Sukha Dukkha Mano Dharmamulu, Maranamu Deham, Janana Marana Deha Dharmamulu, Akali Dappulu Prana Dharmamulu. So this is written by Swami in the Telugu version. So that is the same translation what he has given there. But it is clearer in Telugu, I think.
Yeah, I believe it's much clearer in the Telugu version. Yeah. Thanks, Auntie. I am much more clearer right now.
So these three are the characteristics of our body, nature. Our bodily nature we feel hunger, we feel thirst, and we have joy, grief, and then sometimes it is sukha, dukkha. All these things are there. But what we are doing, we are thinking that it is the Atma which is going through all these problems. No, it's only our body which is going through all these things, characteristics. So, but what we are doing, we are saying that we are superimposing it on the Atma and saying that I am hungry, I am thirsty. When I say sorry, go ahead, please. Is it okay?
Thanks, Auntie. Yeah.
Anybody else can join.
Auntie, actually,
Like
yes, Auntie. So, looking at the same thing, what you had mentioned and what Swami has mentioned, at the Annamaya Kosha, I feel, means whether there is food or water at the Annamaya Kosha, but the presence or absence of food and water at Annamaya Kosha is reflected as hunger or thirst at the Pranamaya Kosha, and that hunger and thirst at the Pranamaya, because they are needed for sustenance of the prana,
Prana.
that hunger or thirst results in sukha dukkha, that is happiness or sadness at the Manomaya Kosha. You have Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha. All these are that anatmic in nature. And that if we are using Vijnanamaya Kosha with that understanding, they should not be superimposed on the Anandamaya Kosha. So that
Yeah.
whole thing of anatmic and atmic, that distinction becomes very clear. So
Yeah, that's it. You're going further to the Vijnanamaya Kosha and the Anandamaya Kosha. Yeah, if it is superimposed on that, these are all body characteristics. So which we erroneously we are assigning these things, assigning hunger to that Atma, thirst to that Atma, grief and joy. No, it is only the Deha which is going through all these characteristics. So that is all anatmic. They are not the characteristics of the universal Atma. That's what Swami is saying.
yes, sir. Yes.
Auntie, so Auntie, the Maya, it's only for the related to body. Body only experience the Maya. So yes, that's the anatma. So in order to understand the your atma, universal atma, you have to, the wisdom only will allow you to understand that. So you will, as long as your body is there, you will experience the Maya.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it is, you should call it as avidya, ignorance. Maya is at the level of Ishvara. Ishvara's Maya is different from the avidya what we have at the individual level. In human level, it's called avidya.
Yes. Thank you, Auntie.
Auntie, just where we are talking about those sentences, the sentence right before in English, it says, "For you attribute the limit of life on that which is eternal, and it is this which causes Maya." Is it the same in Telugu?
Yeah. Anatma dharma will no atma on the aropichuttu Maya. Yeah, Swami is saying the same thing.
What,
Anatma dharma.
Anatma dharma?
Anatma dharma mulanu atma yandu aropinchuta. That is superimposing on atma. That is Maya. Swami is saying the same thing.
Superimposing anatma dharma onto the atma.
Atma
is Maya.
Is Maya.
And in the first sentence, you in the English it says, pervades and injures the very place where it originates, and it has not tarnished me. But avarinchu, does that mean cover or veil?
Avarinchu means it is a covering. It's avarana.
Okay, it's more like it has not covered me, or
veiling.
Veiling, okay.
Arun is where is he? Is he coming?
I'm listening, Auntie. I will join you with.
Okay. You are silent.
Yeah,
so
I think the discussion is going very well.
Thank you.
No, the discussion is going very well, so I just was listening.
Okay.
And then it says that Maya is the upadana karanam of Jagat. And can you explain it also, what is upadana?
Upadana is the original material out of which material cause.
Oh.
You know, to make a pot, you need clay. Clay is upadana karana for the pot. So also, Maya sarva jagattuku upadana karana. He has not given here upadana karana?
No, not in the English. It just says cause.
Cause. Okay. that sentence, for you attribute the limit of life on that which is eternal, and it is this which causes. So that's the same sentence we were talking about, how we put all these attributes of our life, limit of life is the body life of a human being, on that which is eternal. Atma is eternal.
And
I guess.
in one sense,
Okay.
Go ahead, Sai Satish.
no, after you.
No. I will start
Ramaram,
only if there's no one.
you
Yes,
are
go
back.
ahead.
You are back in your room.
Yes.
Okay, nice to see you.
No,
Yes,
no,
Sai Satish.
I was just going to say that I am dressed in layers, and many times I confuse myself with the layers. So that is what is happening. I am I, that is the Atman, but I'm clothed with so many things. So that Maya becomes when I think that I am the layers that I'm dressed in rather than the Atman. So just wanted to reinforce that.
Yeah. Thank you, Sai Satish. I think Sai Satish clearly explained that I think the translation sometimes misses some points. The Annamaya Kosha, as the body itself, the Sthula Dega, has birth and death. It's born and dies because the cells are always, there are cells taking birth and dying every second in our body, which we may not realize. So that is continuously happening. So physically, birth and death is happening as long as we are alive. We may not realize that. We think only the final, death is death. But there are things which are born and they die every day, every second. So I think that's what Swami is referring to. The hunger and thirst are at the energy body level, which is the pranamaya kosha, as Sai Satish has said. So that's what keeps the body functioning, the electricity in the body, and that is fed by food and water. Water is actually contains prana itself. So without those two, the body cannot function. The energy, the electric impulses which go from the brain to the parts, all come from pranamaya kosha. And so that's the second layer, as Sai Satish said, there are different layers. Then the mind goes through joy and sorrow all the time. With everything, something makes us happy, something makes us sad. So Swami is saying, just understand that these are different layers which you are wearing. That's the problem, it's different layers. But once you know that you are the Atman, which is the Vijnanamaya Kosha, you are in bliss. Very nice. So that's the way we overcome the Maya. I hope, because I think the translation of the word prana, it's a problem. Some people think it is vayu, some people think it's life. Both incorrect translations, because English does not have a vocabulary to translate that. So I think that's all I had. If everyone is okay, or if there are no more questions, then we can move on to the next slide.
So does Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha, they are not layers, like they are not anatmas?
They are Atman.
They are Atman.
They are. Because see, Vijnanamaya Kosha gives you consciousness. It gives you, that's what gives you, the chit comes through only in the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Vijnanamaya Kosha. So in that sense, it is Atmic. Because it has the chit aspect, to be aware. Jnatum, Prajnanam Brahma, as Swami will always say. That itself is Brahman. So in our body, that is Vijnanamaya Kosha.
Brother, so the first three bodies only experience the Maya.
Achetana.
Yes.
No. Actually, they don't experience them. See, the Atman only experiences Maya through the mind. See, mind is inert, but through that only, the Atman is the experiencer is only Atman. But the thing is, thinking that that is happening to me is the ignorance. So, okay, Atman, we are Jivatma.
Yeah.
Okay, because we are looking only through the mind without exercising our Vijnanamaya Kosha, we are engulfed by Maya. But once you become aware that Vijnanamaya Kosha is fully effulgent, okay, at that point in time, you know, yes, you are seeing something, but you will not be deluded by that. See, once you're deluded, you are in avidya. See, as Auntie said, avidya is Maya, okay? So that means if the Vijnanamaya Kosha is not functioning in us, we have just forgotten it, it is going to sleep, then you are only working through mind and that will delude you, okay? Because there's no knowledge, no ignorance, there's no knowledge, so it's only ignorance. But once the Vijnanamaya Kosha is fully effulgent, okay, then you will not have the problem. But today then how are we knowing these things? Means Vijnanamaya Kosha is there, but it's quite dormant, or you are using only very little, and even whatever we are using, we are not aware of it. So that's
when
why
until Anandamaya Kosa come even, we will
No.
experience the Maya? No.
Vijnanamaya Kosha itself, Maya will go.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Vijnanamaya. Oh,
Maya
okay.
is gone. But at that point in time, your state is Ananda anyway.
Yeah, okay. Okay. That's what I wonder. So those three only will experience the Maya.
Those three have experiences. Again, Jivatman, which is wearing these clothes, is the one who is experiencing, because it is identifying with the mind.
Mind.
Okay, because you know that you are hungry only because of the mind. Because without the mind, you don't even know that you are hungry, you're thirsty. So the mind is, I think we have already looked at, you know, as mind being having a role in the Maya. Okay. So the thing is the Manomaya Kosha, all dualities exist from the Manomaya Kosha onwards.
Yes.
If you go beyond that, it is only unity.
Unity.
Advaita. Because there's no second. You won't see the second. But once you come to the mind, there are two dualities. Then pranamaya Kosha, there will be duality and so on. So below mind, it's all duality. Above mind, there is no duality. When there is no duality, Maya cannot cover you because there is only one. See, Swami has already said, the God is not engulfed because he is in that state of Advaita state. Then there's only one, and you are completely aware of that oneness or unity. There's no second object, so there is no question of Maya.
Okay. Now it's clear. Yeah, thank you.
That's why Swami said, I am not affected. That means those two koshas are not affected by Maya if they become fully aroused. Dhiyo yona prachodayat, you know, that dhi shakti. That's why we have to chant Gayatri.
Siren brother, the follow-up or another clarification about the Vijnanamaya Kosa. If Vijnanamaya Kosa is meant by consciousness, consciousness, it will be two types of consciousness, subconscious and the superconscious. Both will be considered, both levels are considered to be Atmic, or maybe only the superconsciousness side uh, that would that would be considered to be Atmic level. Maybe a little clarification on that part.
I will ask others to comment. If no one comments, then I will. Otherwise, I will go first. See, the thing is, the subconscious, superconscious, all these are Western terminology. Number one. Okay, so it is very difficult to comment on it, though many people use it. Swami uses three words. Swami uses the word conscious, conscience, and consciousness. Okay, so he uses the word conscious. That means as human being, we are just conscious of if something hits our hand. You know, the mind is the one which is conscious. But conscience is where the buddhi comes into being. You can call it Vijnanamaya Kosha, because when you function, I am Atman, I am not the body. In that sense, you function with what is called conscience. Then Swami says consciousness is your God. So those are the three terms Swami uses. Okay, so he does not say super consciousness or things like that, but to give some credit to the Paramatman is called super consciousness. So at that point in time, we can't even experience it. That's my understanding, sister. And the concept of subconscious, if you say the chittam, the body, which it's an aspect of the mind, which is the vasanas, which are in us. They make us do things, and to some extent that may be considered as subconscious. But there are, even in chittam, there are conscious vasanas and there are unconscious vasanas. The thing is, the vasanas which have become sprouted will become, we are aware of it. But there are dormant vasanas which you can call subconscious. But it's a slightly different field because these are Western concepts in the field of psychiatry, psychology, and so on. I don't know. The doctors here may be able to explain that to some extent.
Thank you so much, brother. Now I understand it's really in Swami's interpretations in the concerns, conscious and consciousness. Those are the only three types. All other wordings are they brought up by the external world.
Western concepts, I would say. And others, even in the East, I think many people use this terminology, but I have not come across this terminology from Swami. So that's all I can say. But I will open it up to others if they have something to say.
Saravana, just adding to what you were saying, I think it's like a balloon. So inside the balloon there is air, and outside the balloon also there is air. The inside the, so if you take that balloon to be like the body, the inside air of the balloon is conscience, and the outside air outside the balloon is consciousness, which is everywhere. So if you just poke that balloon, which could be our, whether we call it our body or ego or small I consciousness, then that inside conscience and the outside consciousness becomes just one, because there is air everywhere. So from that part, if the inside conscience is always conscious of the consciousness, then everything at every time becomes superfluous. We are always in Anandamaya Kosha. So just letting side up.
Thank you. Actually, there are a couple of summer course. I think there was in the 90s. I think Sai Sathya Sai, I don't know. You may be Swami, because in the entire summer course was on mind and its principles, consciousness, and so on. I think it's 93 or 94, if I'm not mistaken. Those who are interested can read those summer course discourses. So if yes,
Uncle, you were mentioning how at the level of Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha, it's all Advaita at that stage. It's all
no, yeah, beyond duality.
Beyond duality, but aren't there multiple Anandamaya Koshas and Vijnanamaya Koshas? Like, don't we each have those koshas? Like, so how can it be one at that stage?
Yeah, I think your question is because we are separate, so how can there be no duality? I think that's the question. Am I right? Did I get it?
Yes, like because each of us would have one Vijnanamaya Kosha, like, so don't we each have a separate Vijnanamaya Kosha?
So the thing is, if you want to, if I want to get technical, that's called Vishishta Advaita. So it's Advaita, but it's Vishishta. In the sense, you still feel the oneness, but there's a small layer separating you from the Lord. But you don't see anything other than the Lord. Okay, so you have not yet merged. You're sort of in the process where you are just going to merge. But some people just love that state. They don't want to merge. They say, I just like it, and they stick there. So this is the school of when Swami has spoken about Ramanujacharya, Swami has spoken about it. They're fully conscious. So it is like if you take a big circle, when you're dual, your circle is outside that big one. Okay. In the case of Vishishtadvaita, this small circle has gone inside the big circle, but it still has some sort of a separation, but it knows I am in the circle, because there's nothing other than the circle, but they enjoy. So that state is called Vishishtadvaita. So it is not complete Advaita, it is not Dvaita, it's Vishishta Advaita. Okay. It's not here in the material, so I usually try not to introduce concepts which are not there, but because you asked the question, I just mentioned it. There are people can look up, Ramanujacharya. If Swami has spoken about Ramanujacharya or Vishishtadvaita, Swami has spoken about it. Okay, it's a special case of Advaita. Okay, if you qualified monism, that's what they say. Okay.
Brother, is there a meaning for visitor? What is visitor, please? There's a meaning for it?
Qualified.
Qualified. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
The Sairam brother, both you and brother Sai Sadish brought an interesting point to me. If individually we are in a little balloon, and when the balloon bursts, we come out and uh, merge with the big balloon.
No
Or
big balloon, sister.
or we will be maybe free to we will be free and merge with the entire space. If that is the case, if we are part of the consciousness, then how we turn back into the little balloon in the next birth and everything, if we fully merge with that one, how come we will come again into the little balloon? I just thought Brother Sai Sadish brought an interesting example. The individually we are in a little balloon. The outside this consciousness, we are inside conscience, and when it bursts, we will go and merge with. Then, if we are merged with that one, then how come we will be coming again to the little, the small balloon, and start again? I thought it's an interesting thought for me.
Okay, sister, good question. So I will turn to the balloon seller, Sai Satish.
Sorry, Ramana. No, we have an ego pump. Every time we keep pump it up and we come back in. So I would say, Sister Anandi, it's like, are we merging at the consciousness when the balloon bursts? Is the conscience merging at a level where it will not re-emerge? If I can completely let go of my Annamaya, if I can let go of the Pranamaya, if I can let go of the Manomaya, and it can come to an extent of even letting go of like Vijnanamaya, the ultimate of the ultimate, where you become one with the Anandamaya, where the inside air of the balloon merges so freely with the outside air that there is no trace of the smell of the rubber, no trace of the smell of the balloon, no trace of the smell of the individual consciousness of ego. then the true merging of consciousness has happened. If not, there is a trace of that smell still lingering. There is a still that rubber of that balloon is showing up on that. And till that becomes completely pure, completely devoid of it, it has to come back and again fill itself in another balloon till it lets go of that balloon completely, or else that is a problem. Am I letting go to the extent where I will let go 100% and not keep 0.0001% kind of a thing? That's what happens. That is why we come back again and again, keep getting burst, again keep going, again keep coming back. So the idea is to put in that kind of an effort where we let go completely. Basically, the ego comes back. We fill ourselves. Filling the balloon is filling ourselves with that, using that pump and filling our ego, so that individual consciousness comes back till it can completely let go. Like that.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Thank you. Anyone else? Auntie, you want to say something?
Yeah. My question is, Mano, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Pranamaya, you said it is completely above all these things. But the two things, other two, Vijnanamaya and Anandamaya, you said it is Anatma. How is it possible?
Is it possible, Auntie?
All the Panchakoshas are different. Their Panchakosha Viveka always we do. Atma is different and Panchakoshas are different. We cannot say that Anandamaya and Vijnanamaya are Anatma. You cannot say that. I mean, you said that something like that, Did I?
Yes.
Can it be Anatma? The whole thing is actually Anatma. All the 5 koshas are all Anatma until it is completely erased. Then only it can merge with Atma. That's, I feel so.
Yeah. So I think we can. Based on my understanding, Auntie, from my memory, there is Chetana, Achetana concept. Chetana means the Chit is whatever is present with Chit. Achetana is whatever is present without Chit. And the Chit aspect, from what I understand, is what gives you jnana. The jnata, Swami says, the person who knows. So the Chit, if you take the Atmic Atma, Sat, Chit, and Anandam are considered to be Atman. Okay. So the reality is, when we are, even that Jivatma has those aspects, as Chit is Jnana Maya Kosha, and Ananda is Ananda Maya Kosha, and the Sat is the Atman itself. So if you want to, I think there are a couple of places where Swami has described it. But the thing, Manomaya Kosha is Jada. It is Achetana, because it cannot function without the Jnanamaya Kosha. I think there's another Vahini where Swami is, I think it's Prashnottara Vahini, if I am sure, where Swami is giving some answers on this. Because what he says is, the Manomaya Kosha there are 2 aspects of Manomaya Kosha, which is Chittam and Ahankaram.
Yeah.
Okay, which basically, even after death, they go along with the Atman.
With Atman,
With
yes.
Atman. In the
Sukshma.
Manomaya Kosha, there are four pieces. One is Manas, Buddhi,
Antakarana.
Chitta, and Ahankara. So in this Chitta and Ahankara go from body to body along with the Atman. Okay, so that is the reason I said they are Atmic, in the sense they have the effect of Atman there. Because once Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha is broken, the final balloons are broken, as Sai Satish said, then there's nothing left. There's complete, when we are merged in the Paramatman, or super consciousness or whatever. But as long as we have individualized consciousness, among the 5 bodies, these 2 bodies do not have duality, because once you are in the Vijnanamaya kosha, you are aware that you are Atman. And that is my, Swami's understand. When you are aware that, awareness is Chit or Bhati, as Swami has said.
Chidabhasa. You mean Chidabhasa. The
Chidabhasa.
reflection of consciousness on intellect is Chidabhasa. There you are aware of it. You are aware.
So once you're aware, that's why I called it Atmik. I think we can do some research and see if there is Swami clearly said. I will do the research and come back next week. I think in the Prashnottara Vahini or somewhere Swami has discussed some of these concepts. I think Kalyani may have read it and studied sometime back, but I don't know whether she remembers. So that is the answer. So just to answer Sister Anandi's question, I think Sai Sathya said, see, when we die, the body dies, the mind also drops. If we still have something residue in the chittam and our ahankaram is still intact, the balloon is still not fully burst. So we go to a place called Chandraloka. In Chandraloka, we remain and we come back again. But if the ahankara is not there and the vasanas are completely cleansed and the chittam is non-existent almost, then we go to a place called Surya Loka, where the bubble is fully burst and we will not come back. The source for this is Sathya Sai Vahini. If anyone is interested, you can read up. Sathya Sai Vahini, Swami has covered this. So until we go to Surya Loka, the balloon is not fully burst. Just because the body is dead or the mind is dropped when we die, as already Swami has said, that the birth and death only relates to the body. So we come back. So that is the reason we are coming back again.
It's a beautiful explanation. So we go to Sandraloka and come back, and maybe the objective or maybe the goal should be go to Surya Loka.
Yes.
Maybe now I thoroughly understand what Brother Sai Sadish previously said. The balloons, even single trace of the vasanas or the smell or nothing should be there in order to get into merge. Beautiful explanation, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, and Chandra Loka also refers to the mind. Chandra itself is mind. So Chandrama Manaso Jata, so the mind is born of Chandra, the principle of Chandra. So that's why it's called Chandra Loka.
One other question, because Swami is saying that even though Maya is born in me, I cannot be covered by Maya. So Maya does not veil me, speaking of God. But I mean, if we are also God, like we are essentially the same as God, like our Atman is the same, there's only one, then how is it that how did we get veiled by the Maya?
You are ignorant of the divine. You are in that avidya. So even though divine is present in us, we cannot escape the effect of Maya, Maya. So
Anyone else? Yes, Brother Dasan.
Yes, Sairam, brother. So my understanding is Jagat is created by the God, the nature. So there is Maya. So who created? The God is created. The whoever created, it doesn't affect the God. So whoever we are following God's teaching and everything, if our bhakti is there, the Maya doesn't do any harm to us, because the Maya always acknowledges their authority. It listens to the God. So as far as we are in the Dvaitva state, once we understand once we go to the Advaita state, that means the river is merged in the sea. That is we can say Advaita stage for an example. Then once you have the wisdom, whatever brother you said, we can see the divinity everywhere. So some people see the world as a nature, different things. The person who reached to the Advaita stage, he will see the divinity. So he won't realize any Maya or anything. And the Maya is because of our ignorance, whatever Auntie says is ignorant. We are seeing duality. We are seeing everything body consciousness. This is the reason we think it is a Maya. So we have to born again, or about whatever we studied before. The basic things are attachment and the desires. Once we have reached to the Advaita stage, we are not going to born again. Thank you. That's my understanding too, brother.
Thank you very much, brother. I think,
Sairam,
yes, Auntie, please go ahead.
Sairam, I agree with Dasan. As long as we have the body consciousness and we have ego, we are having vasanas, and part of the chitta also is giving us doubts. That's why we are easily targeted by the Maya. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister. Auntie, anyone else has something to say?
Yeah, Sairamana. So when we say born, in this case, we are thinking that when Maya is born out of God, it goes out of God. But actually, that is not the case. It is born, but within God. God being the superset, Maya being a subset. Whereas for me, Maya is the superset and I am the subset. So if I take a series of circles, I am the innermost circle as the filled with the body consciousness. The outer circle beyond me is Maya. And the circle outside of Maya, which is containing Maya, is God. So when the Maya is born out of God, it is still within God. It is still within the authority of God. And so he is the absolute controller of Maya. Whereas for me, I am born in Maya. So I am under the control of Maya. And if I pray to the ultimate overarching circle of God, then the circle that is within him, that is Maya, breaks open, and understanding or attaining that unition with God happens. So in one case, what I'm basically trying to say is I become under the control of Maya, but Maya is under the control of God. It's like the series of circles that we can.
Okay, thank you, Sai Satish. I think Kalyani may still have the question a little bit, is it, Kalyani? Because her question was, if Atman, God, is not covered by Maya, how we also are Atmic? What happened to us? When did it happen? Why is it happening? I mean, did I paraphrase your question right? Yes.
Yes.
So I think her question is, okay, God, we are also God means how, what happened to us that Maya is covering us? That is the question. So anyone has an answer to that? And I think everyone knows, okay, from where we are caught, we are going to escape. But why are we caught is the question, she said. Because when God says, Krishna is saying he is not covered by it, but he's telling Arjuna, you are covered by it. But he is also telling Arjuna, you are Atman. Realize that. But how come that one Atman didn't have that problem and the other Atman has? I think something of those. So am I right, Kalyani? Yeah, okay. Yes, Brother Dasan.
Sairam.
Brother Dasan, you are caught in an
Yeah,
Atman.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm
Unmute.
sorry.
That's cool.
So,
Unmute. Okay.
yeah, we are Soham. Soham means not in Tamil. Soham, I am he. So that everyone is a Atma. But whatever we studied before is all our Atma is covered with ego, karma. That means we are not doing that niskarma karma, and we are covered with the Maya. When you are out of these three, then you are liberated. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, brother. Yes, Sister Shivani.
Sai Ram, my understanding is that we human being, we think I am this mind and body. But mind and body is me, but I am not that mind and body. I am Atma. So these are the tools that, and I think we are not using them as a tool. We are thinking this is the body and mind is me, but I am Maya. I am Atma. So I think that's the difference, that Sai Krishna is saying that I am Atma, you are all, but you're attaching yourself with your body and mind. Whatever your body and mind is saying, you're thinking that is the reality. But the reality is they are yours, but you are not that. You are Atma. Sai.
Again, I think Kalyani's question. So
Not
thanks, sister.
answered. Not
Because I
answered
think
yet.
Kalyani's question is, why is Sai Krishna not covered and why are we covered?
Oh, why
And
Sai
simple
Krishna?
question.
So is it because we, that's what I'm saying, that because he knows that he is that Atma, but we are not realizing that who I am. I'm saying I'm mind and body. That's why I'm engulfed with that Maya, because I'm attaching with these two tools, which are given to me to exist in this world, but that's not me. I am Atma. I don't know. Does it answer? I confused more.
Thank you, sister. Yes, Sister
Ananda,
Narmada. Yes,
Sorry.
Sai Satish, go before.
Yeah,
Narmada.
I Satish, let's go. Yeah.
no, like, okay, I'm just trying to again, like, suppose now I am sitting in darshan and Swami comes to give darshan. I am also giving darshan to Swami. Both are happening simultaneously. We are all seated. So when Swami comes, yata drishti tata srishti, he sees me at the Atman level, or he sees me at the Anandamaya stage. Divyatma Swarupalara, Prematma Swarupalara. So always Bhagwan's drishti is seeing us as the Atman. And so when I see everybody seated around me, I see everybody again as individuals, again at the body level. My drishti is at the world level. So I see everybody as another devotee who has come to see Bhagwan. And I see Swami. But when I see Swami, I have, because of the whole thing of the perception, the makeup, the devotion, the love, all that, it again, I'm looking at Swami. So now when I'm able to see another individual seated there as a devotee, and when I look up at Swami, immediately my drishti changes from seeing one person as another devotee to seeing God. So my perception as I'm seated there is continuously changing as I observe people. But for Swami, whether he sees me or he sees anybody, he sees nothing but him, nothing but that Ananda. And so now going back as to why that is happening, why is that Swami is seeing everybody as Swami, whereas I am seeing only some as only him as Swami and everybody else as a devotee or my own this thing, is the way I have trained myself. Means it is again how at the absolute level the director decided to become an actor or the play was written. So at that level of the play, how well can I perceive my role and how well can I act it out? Once again, I don't know if I answered why it got covered or why Swami is perceiving, but I am coming back at a level why possibly is because of my vision, possibly because of the way I perceive, possibly because of the way I use my mind, the instrument that has been given. Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Yes, iPhone. I don't know who that is.
Oh, it's Anita. Sorry, I haven't written my name. I'm sorry, I changed my phones. I feel like sometimes we think, or I think I'm pure and I'm not thinking about Maya. but God can see right through us, and maybe with Arjun as well, God could see there is a little bit Maya still left in him, or the ego. And all these are lessons in life, and only God can see right through us, because we can say I'm 100% pure, 100% honest, but there is probably a speck of it, in, for us to improve. And that's why we get, I don't know, that's my thought.
Okay, thank you very much, sister.
Thank you, Sai.
Yes, Sister Narmada.
Okay, I'm not trying to answer this question, but I might be adding more confusion to the mist. But from what I understand, Kalyani's question, I think I have the similar question as well, because here Swami is not covered by Maya, and why are we covered with Maya? That is the question. And I think the reason we take birth in this loka over and over again is because we have karma loads that we come with. And because of that karma loads, I think that's why the Maya is covered, because we need to kind of try to do sadhanas and understand ourselves and understand who we are in order to merge with him. And I think that is the reason we are covered. Or is that right? And also the other thing is, and the Swami here is saying, right, whoever is attached to me cannot be controlled by Maya. So we need to learn how to attach ourselves. So then going back to your answer, or your comment about, Dvaita and Advaita and Vishwas and Advaita, again, so then comes to the question, why is there a Dvaitam to begin with? Why did God create us in this way? So going back to the original question, so I may have added more confusion to the mist, but I just talked, I guess. I'm sorry.
Sairam, thank you, sister. Thank you. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Brother, I think when we are born in the world, when we are part of the creation, when they created itself, we have mind. So the mind, because of mind is there only, we have born again. Otherwise, we would have merged. So that is part of the creation we are coming in. So it is covered with Maya. So God, as we said, jnana state, and that stage, they don't see duality. So that's the reason I say. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, sister.
Can I add?
Yes, Auntie, please go ahead.
See, out of the pure sattvic part of the Prakriti, Maya is born. So it's pure sattvic at the level of Ishvara. But when it is mixed with Malina, that is Rajas and Tamas are mixed, and then a little part of sattvic is there in us, a human being. So we are mostly covered by Rajas and Tamas. That is why the Maya is very, its curtain is very, very thick. Whereas Ishvara is pure. He is sattvic, pure Shuddha Sattva, Mukta, he is Brahman. We are separate. We are with all our Malina Guna of the Prakriti, we are born. So that's why it is covered. The Maya is covering us, but not the Paramatman. Sairam.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Actually, this doubt was discussed by Swami in Sandeha Nivarani. So the thing is, Swami says in one place, the Ajnani, Jnani, at different stages of growth also, they are all same, Swami says. Swami says that they are it's like the flower, the unripe fruit, the ripe fruit, they're all different stages. Okay. If a fruit, suddenly there's a fruit, but then there's a flower asking, why am I flower? The flower will become one day fruit. So the reality is, Krishna symbolizes the highest, stands for the highest stage of evolution of this created being.
An avatar. I think that also Swami has covered. We are born as something, then we grow into something, something grow into, until the full knowledge blossoms. We are going to be in a middle state. So everything in this world, because once the creation takes place, even if you look at the avatars, Dashavatar, the avatars are also, fish, the boar, the tortoise, the Narasimha, so even avatars are demonstrating that there is a cycle in this world. In this creation, this is natural, normal, for things to just progress. Why is it happening? That is creation. But the only difference between Krishna and Arjuna is Krishna is that blossomed, fully, that fruit, fully ripe fruit, which is avatar, how did that become? The same Atman is also energizing that fruit. The same seed is present even in a flower. The seed is present also in a fruit, but that is fully ripe fruit. So that's why Swami says, don't think, why am I at this stage? Why did it happen? That is part of the creation, part of this evolution and devolution, the cyclical nature of world. So that is why, as long as we don't identify with the Atman, we will be engulfed by Maya. So the more we identify with the Atman and less with the body and the mind, we will show the fullness of our existence. That's the only difference. Everyone in this world will go through that cycle. Every Jivatma will go through that cycle. Nothing is going to stop. No one is going to do, take a shortcut and go somewhere. But then you can ask, why are we struggling? The reason is, if we are going to read this, today we have reached a place where we can read and learn something. It is just like every child who joins this class, grade 1, they will be struggling with small arithmetic problems. But, when they go to grade 10 or, later, they will study different subjects. But are they human beings? Are they also intelligent beings? They are. So that is why in the Sanatana Dharma, birth, rebirth, karma, all that happens because it is a long journey of Atman, of a maturing process. That is why even if somebody is bad, God doesn't feel bad. God doesn't think that, this person, they know that this person is at this stage of development and they need to be helped to move forward. But they will also move forward. We will also, everyone will, all of us will be moving forward. So the reason why Krishna did not have, or Swami does not have, they are of that highest state of evolution of an Atma, of a Jivatman, if you want to put it that way. And that's why Swami will say, all of you also avatars. And there are different gradations. I think Swami has Devamsa Shambhutas, like that. Swami has given some words in Sandhya Nivarani. Jnani is like that, he gives gradation and avatars also, in the sense. So who is Swami? Was he separate? Was he born as Rama? All these questions crop up in us. But avatars of that caliber have always existed. Rama was there, Krishna was there, and so on. And Krishna will say, I am born again and again. They were born as Nara Narayana. Now also they are born like that. So it is a state of maturity. I hope that answers your question, Kalyani, to the extent possible. Maybe it's not as convincing, but that's the best I have to offer, just like others here. But I think we can go back and reread Sandhya Nivarani. Okay, Sahira. I think it has been a long Maya discussion. I don't know whether we are all engulfed in Maya, but in our own way we are struggling.
Sairam, Aruna. Do the avatars also have the level of maturity? differing, it differs from avatars to avatar?
Very much, auntie. That's why Matsya Avatara is different from Kurma Avatar. Kurma Avatar is different from Varaha Avatar. They demonstrated, see, that's why Sanatana Dharma, these concepts have taught, a fish also was an avatar. Okay. A tortoise also was an avatar. A boar also was an avatar. So, divinity comes in many different ways to demonstrate, and the world is full of divinity. It is recognizing that divinity is what matters. Swami has said, when God decides to take avatar, he decides how much, what amsas, how many amsas they have to take and come, depending on the situation.
Right.
Okay, so there are gradations of avatars also.
That's why we call as Purana Avatar, right, Sai?
Yes.
Yeah. So Swami, we consider as a Purna Avatar.
See, avatar itself is a concept which we cannot fathom.
Right.
But half or full is very much more difficult for us to fathom.
Yeah, and who are we to?
Sai Ram, he was called Sampurna Avatar because of Sridi Avatar, Sathya Sai Avatar, and Prema Sai Avatar. That's why he was called Sampurna Avatar. This is my understanding. Sorry.
Sai Ramanji. People can say anything, but if Swami has said something, I will just take that as is. I think that's the way because no one is qualified to declare Swami also as something. And he's beyond our level of understanding. Yeah. But sometimes what happens, see, one of the problems with all devotees of any master is that we want to elevate him or her to such an extent so that we also feel that we are also slowly elevated because of that. Yes. Okay, so I think Swami will say, don't worry, you just do what I'm telling you.
For our satisfaction, we elevate and
see, if we really believe that Sampurna, if actually the reality is, if we feel that Swami's avatar, we will drop everything in life and run. If we are so convinced, nothing on this world will matter. Like the gopis, they will drop everything, children, this, that, and then ran to Krishna. Until then, Swami will say empty, all empty, like that Swami will say. Stunt, you are just all empty words. You don't believe in it. If you believe in it, it is, your life will be completely different.
Then my understanding was Purnavatar. I shouldn't deviate from this topic, but I'm just asking. Purnavatar mean he lived there and he was guiding and doing. It's a period of time, right? And
Sister,
experience
sister,
in
I think
different.
sister, it's not out of subject, out of syllabus. I think we will stop. Sorry about it.
Okay.
Because I see we should it becomes speculation at that point in time. Okay, so it is better not to speculate. Yes. That's what I would say. Yeah, we can have our belief, but each person's belief is okay. But let's not because once we start discussing, that belief itself will be shaken. So I will just leave it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
Sai Ram, sister. I think we will move on to the next slide.
Yeah.
Anna, one thing, Anna. Like
yes,
what
yes, Sai.
Mentioned with Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narsingh, that whole thing.
We can't hear. You are not Purna. We can't hear you.
Yeah. Is it fine, Anna? Is it okay now?
At least your voice is not Purnam. That's all I can.
Okay.
Sampurna.
Yes, so I was just trying to.
No.
Can you hear now? Is it fine?
Your voice is only Amsha Avatar here. Just make it full.
They're coming in and out, Sai Satish.
Yeah. Is it okay now? Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So I was just trying to tell that whether we go for Matsya Avatar or Kurma Avatar, fish, tortoise, or boar, any they became in one sense avatar and so on, because when the Lord came, he was the best fish, and that fish also was for paropakaram, it was for welfare of the world. When he came as tortoise, again that was the best tortoise, and it was for the welfare of the world. So when we say avatar because of what they accomplished, how they accomplished, and for whom they accomplished as well. So if we are able to live our life with that best of intentions and with that kind of a purpose, then we are also emulating the same what the avatar has shown. So I'm saying we say right from Matsya all the way into the whole Dashawataras of Kalki, because every time, whenever the avatar came, they gave their best for the best. So that kind of a thing will elevate each of our thing also to do whatever role we have been given to the best of our ability. Then we are also treading the path of that same avatar. So just in the line of what Anna was sharing.
Thank you, Sai. Yes, Sister Anna.
Sairam brother, just to answer Sister Kalyani's question,
Yes.
I remember that Maniandi last session or the previous session, she brought a beautiful example. Say for an example, we are walking on a very thick, dark jungle, and she brought Rama walks first, then Sita, and then Lakshmana. In that order, they walked in the jungle. And I also thought, because we are walking in the dark, pitch thick jungle, someone has to lead us. That's why God should go first. And also our perception is Maya is bad, but not like that. I believe we have discussed that part too. In order to, because the God has the torchlight, so he's the leader and he would show us the proper path to reach the destination. That's why as long as we have mind, we have the Maya too. So in order to get the light from the Lord, we should have Maya in between. That's why God doesn't need, because he has the enlightenment himself. That's why he doesn't need Maya's help. But we need Maya's help. That's why God created the Maya in order to help us. Then only we can see the light. Maybe that is the reason I believe we engulfed with Maya, but God doesn't need to have it. Maybe that's the thought, or maybe the simple explanation. I put it myself with Mani Auntie's explanation, maybe the 2 sessions ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you.
I'm just thinking here at a very practical level that when we are discussing, as Swami said, whoever is attached to me and learning about Maya and our, why Maya is not engulfed by is not engulfing Swami, but us. I'm thinking the biggest seva is, yes, at a physical level to help others, but the biggest seva is help myself to spiritually grow, because that should be the purpose of life. How I can help myself, following each and every step, as Swami is saying. If you will follow me, or if you are attached to me, nothing will affect like to. So the biggest service to me is, yes, help others if you can, but the biggest service is to myself. How can I grow spiritually every day, every second? Sorry.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Yes, Brother Dasan.
So, Sairam, I don't want to take time. Just a simple sentence. In Mahabharata, in Lord Arjuna was saying, and Lord Krishna explained about Maya, karma, and ego. So Arjuna asked, it's very difficult for the normal people to go through this, understand through the Maya to do the Niskama karma without the ego to merge with the God. So is it, is for us, it's very difficult. Then Lord Krishna said, Everyone has to go through this path, and one day that's what they have to take many births until they understand. Then they merge with the God. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's 4:21. I don't know whether we should read. And
we can read at least the next this thing.
Yes.
Discussion may not be possible.
Yes, Auntie. Thank you.
Saira, to believe that the universal, which is you, is limited and subject to all these unatmic characteristics, that is Maya. But remember, Maya dare not approach anyone who has taken refuge in me. For those who fix their attention on Maya, it operates as a vast oceanic obstacle. But for those who fix their attention on God, Maya will present itself as Madhava, God. The hurdle of Maya can be crossed either by developing an attitude of oneness with the infinite God or the attitude of complete surrender to the Lord. The first is called Jnana Yoga. The second is named Bhakti Yoga. All men do not get the inner prompting to conquer Maya by surrendering their all to the Lord. It depends on the merit or demerit accumulated during many births. Those who have only demerit as their earnings will pursue the fleeting pleasures of the senses. Like the birds and the beasts, they revel in food and frolic. They take these as the purpose of life. They do not entertain any thoughts of God. They dislike the company of the virtuous and the good. They stray away from good acts. They become outlaws from the realm of God.
Thank you, sister. So I think we can all contemplate on these words.
Well,
Auntie?
in Telugu,
Yes, Auntie.
Swami has written as Gnana Marga, Bhakti Marga. It is Gnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Is there any difference? Gnana Marga.
Yes,
Swami.
I think the path of Jnana, path of
Bhakti. That is, it's instead of yoga, it should be
path. Okay, thank you, Auntie.
Yeah. It's a very striking difference.
So I think we can all contemplate on this and come back. And I think Swami is saying how, it's a long journey to conquer the Maya. And if not, we'll be like the birds and beasts. So that means not at the human level. So Swami has said this. So we'll stop here with Samastaloka and we'll meet next week again. Okay, Sai Ram, everyone. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sai Ram, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sai Ram.
Thank you.